Good day, grade 11, and welcome back to the video tutorial for our subject this second semester. This is again Sir RJ Olarve, and for today, we're going to continue our discussion regarding matter and its property. On our last video tutorial, we talked about the introduction to matter. Specifically, we tackled there the particulate nature of matter, as well as the different philosophers and scientists who formulated different beliefs and ideas which contributed on the formulation of our modern knowledge regarding matter. And for today, we're going to have the continuation of that lesson, which is all about the states of matter. And before we proceed with the discussion proper, let us have first the different lesson objectives. So in this lesson, you are expected to come up with the following. First is to know the three main states of matter. Second is to know the additional states of matter. And lastly is to know the different characteristics of each states of matter. So now let us proceed with the states of matter. So actually in chemistry, it is a fundamental knowledge that matter is anything that has mass and volume. And the question now is, what is the difference between mass and volume? Or what is mass and what is volume? So here, mass is defined as the amount of matter that is present on a specific substance or material. While on the other hand, volume is the space that material or substance occupies. And take note of this, that all things, whether it is a living or non-living, are made up of matter, which can be characterized using different senses of the body. And the question now is, what are the characteristics and properties that make matter what it is? But before we answer that question, let us have first the idea that generally matter can be described based on its state, or what we call physical state of matter, of which are the following. And take note of this, that generally there are only three states of matter that is based on its physical characteristics or properties. And what are these? So we have the solid, the liquid, and the gas state. And I know that you have your prior knowledge with regards to the solid, liquid, and gas, right? But this time, we're going to proceed with the different characteristics of solid, liquid, and gas. And let us have first the different characteristics of solids. First, it has definite shape. So given that the molecules of solid are really compacted, so it will result then to a definite shape, or we can actually give the exact shape of that specific solid, whether it is a regular or irregular shape still. So we can identify the exact shape of a specific solid. Next, it has definite volume. Third characteristic, it cannot be compressed by moderately high pressure because of the fact that the molecules of solid are already compressed. Fourth, the particles are tightly packed together. As you can see on this picture, the molecules or the particles are tightly packed together. Fifth, the particles are arranged in a rigid or orderly manner, as you can see also on the picture. Alright, and last characteristic of solid, it is said to have a high density. So density, it talks about how compacted the molecules of a specific material or substance is. So these are the characteristics of solid. And now let's have the different characteristics of liquids. So first, it has no definite shape because it takes the shape of its container. For example, water, if you're going to put water on a regular shaped container, so it will only take the shape of that specific container. Next, it has definite volume because once na inilagay natin siya sa isang container, we can actually compute and solve for its definite volume. Third, it can be compressed by moderately high pressure compared to the solids. Because na-mention natin kanina, diba, that because of the compaction of the molecules of solids, so, and given that already compressed na siya, so ibig sabihin hindi natin siya kaya i-compress. But this time, dahil hindi naman ganoon ka-compressed yung particles and molecules of liquids, so it can be compressed by moderately high pressure. Number 4, the particles are neither close nor far from one another, as you can see on the picture and as what I have mentioned earlier. Fifth, the particles are not arranged in rigid or orderly manner. As you can see also on the picture na hindi ganun kaganda, unlike doon sa solid na talaga namang arrange siya in a rigid and orderly manner. But this time in the liquid state, so hindi siya talaga arranged in a rigid or orderly manner. And last characteristic, okay, it is said to have a medium density. Medium density kasi still medyo compacted pa rin naman yung kanyang molecules. So, hindi lang talaga ganun kataas yung density niya compared to our solid. So, these are the different characteristics of liquids. And now, let's proceed with the different characteristics of gases. So, based on this picture, we can have the different characteristics of gases. And first, it has no definite shape and it takes the shape of its container just like what happened on the liquid state. Alright? Second, it has no definite volume because it is nearly dependent on the volume of the container. So, kung ano man yung volume ng container, yun na rin yung magiging volume nung specific na gas na yon. Third, it can be compressed or expanded as pressure is increased nor decreased. So, we can say that gases are really dependent, okay, and influenced by the change in pressure, whether the pressure is going to be high or low pressure. And again, compared to the solid and liquid, so dahil hindi talaga compress yung molecules of gases, so we can say that we can compress it. Okay, it is said to be highly compressible. And number 4, the particles are far away from each other. So knowing na ito din sa picture, pinapakita natin dyan that the particles and molecules of gases are really far away from one another. Number 5, the particles are not arranged in a rigid or orderly manner just like on the liquid. But this time, grabe na to kasi talagang dahil magkakalayo yung kanyang particles and molecules, so definitely hindi talaga siya makakabuo ng rigid and orderly manner of arrangement ng kanyang particles. And last, it is said to have a low density. Okay, given that the molecules and particles are far away from one another, so it also resulted to have a low density. So these are the different characteristics of gases. And actually, we are done with the discussion regarding the different characteristics of the three major states of matter, which are the solid, liquid, and gas. And now it's time for us to have the two modern and additional phases of matter, which are the plasma and the BOSE-EINSTEIN condensate. So what is plasma and BOSE-EINSTEIN condensate all about? So let us have first the plasma. So plasma is said to be the fourth state of matter. It has neither a definite volume nor a definite shape, and often it is seen in ionized gases, aurora borealis, lightning, and comet tails. So, tingnan nating mabuti no yung mga examples kung saan makikita ang plasma ay talagang merong high and extreme na temperature. Kasi ang plasma ay nag-o-occur yan sa mga extreme na temperature. Katulad na lang nga ng aurora borealis, ionized gases, lightning, and comet tails. Another thing about plasma, it is a unique form of gas that possesses unique properties and also a free electrically charges cause plasma to be electrically conductive. Ibig sabihin, kaya mag-flow ng electricity sa plasma. And lastly, it may be formed by heating and ionizing a gas that occurs in lightning discharges and in artificial devices like fluorescent bulbs and neon sign. So that is the plasma. And now let's have the BOSE-EINSTEIN condensate. So BOSE-EINSTEIN condensate is the fifth state of matter, which is produced when a cloud of boson, which is a cloud of boson is a type of elementary particle of matter. And as this cloud of boson is cooled to a temperature very close to absolute zero, such as that a large fraction of a bosons condense. So kung kanina sa plasma extreme, ibig sabihin and the high temperature yung kailangan para makita natin yung plasma, this time in the BOSE-EINSTEIN condensate. So kapag malapit na yung temperatura sa absolute zero, so doon na natin makikita or doon na mag-a-appear ang BOSE-EINSTEIN condensate. And this includes the superfluids like cold liquid helium and superconductors like the nucleons inside a star. And that's the BOSE-EINSTEIN condensate. And moving forward, take note that the different phases among the physical states of matter can change from one phase to another. And that phenomenon can be explained using the what we call kinetic molecular theory of matter. And here are the different processes that are involved in the kinetic molecular theory of matter. So we have this diagram showing how a specific gas can transform into solid and how solid can transform into gas, or vice versa, or how a liquid can be transformed into a gas or gas can be transformed into a liquid. And we're going to discuss them one by one. So let's start off with deposition. So deposition is said to be the phase transition in which gas transforms into solid without passing through the liquid state. So ibig sabihin nito, yung gas kaya niya mag-transform agad into a solid. And deposition is said to be a thermodynamic process. Second process, we have the condensation, wherein condensation is the conversion of a gas vapor or gas to a liquid. So ito sa picture, makikita nyo dyan, di ba, baso. And na-observe din natin ito madalas, no, kapag uminom ka ng malamig na tubig, tapos after some time, hindi mo kunwari inubos mo na yon, and then makikita mo na parang nagmo-moist yung baso, and actually that is the process of condensation. And next, we have the evaporation. So evaporation is the process by which water changes from a liquid to a gas or vapor. And dito sa picture, pinapakita that because of the heat coming from the sun, so the water from the ocean is going to evaporate in the air. And the fourth one is what we call sublimation. So sublimation is a transition of a substance directly from the solid to the gas state without passing through the liquid state. So itong picture na to, nagpapakita niya ng dry ice. So yung dry ice, hindi niya na kailangang maging liquid pa. Okay, kaya niya from a solid state, kaya niya nang mag-go directly sa gas state. Next process, we have the melting. So melting is the physical process that results in the phase transition of a substance from a solid going to its liquid state. So ito sa example natin, we have ice, okay, na hinayaan lang siya, and then after some time, so magbe-melt yan, and it will undergo the physical process called melting. And in contrary, so we have the process called freezing. So freezing is the phase transition where a liquid turns into a solid when its temperature is lowered below its freezing point. So kung kanina sa melting is from a solid, di ba, magiging liquid siya. So this time in the freezing, from a liquid state, so magiging solid naman siya. So best example nito ay kapag naglagay ka ng tubig sa freezer, so after an hour, so hopefully ay mag-turn na yung liquid na yon into a solid, which is ice. And those are the different processes that are involved in the kinetic molecular theory of gases. And if there are concepts that are unclear to you, so don't hesitate to contact me or personal message me on any of these social media accounts and cell phone number. And as a reminder again from 1 Corinthians 10 verse 31, so when you eat or drink or do anything else, always do it to honor God. God bless grade 11 students.